Hi, and welcome to Craft Along with Jay. My name is Yetta, and I'm so happy you could join me today. Today, I just have one project, but it's kind of a lengthy one. It took me quite some time to make it, and it's part of the Wood Round and Wreath Wednesday, hosted by DIY with Aurea and Loli D's Creations. And don't forget to check out the playlist down in my description box when you're done with this video. All right, here we go. You need a 14-inch wood round from the Dollar Tree. And yes, it has that red sticker on it, so the price went up. You need some pipe cleaners. I got this deco mesh from Hobby Lobby at 40% off, and a bunch of ribbon from Hobby Lobby, 40% off, of course. And the first thing I do is add some pipe cleaners to my wreath form, and I'm going to add them right where the sections connect, if that makes sense. And I'm going to put one on the top and one at the bottom. So it wraps around the two outer rings and then the other one, the two inner rings. And then I do right there in the middle, both top and bottom. And that's how it will be done all the way around when it's all done. The method we're going to use today is the method. And this one is going to be crisscrossing. I saw this done at Dave's Wreaths and Things. Go check him out. He's amazing. And I thought that was quite interesting the way he did it, and I wanted to try it. So that's what we're doing today. So thanks, Dave, for the video. So that's kind of how you want to set them up. And then I'll take my deco mesh, and I'm going to use, I think, 9 inches. And I'm going to just scrunch it up in the beginning. And then I'm going to use this little clear, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little clear rubber band. And I'm going to tie that around. You can't even see it's on there, but it kind of helps so it doesn't kind of unravel itself. And then I just kind of trim the excess off. And yeah, it wasn't smart to cut that right on top of the deco mesh, so we're going to clean that up real quick. And then we're going to attach this. I start on the outer rings, and I'm going to attach it right in there. Just kind of add it in there, and then you just um, twist the pipe cleaner around a couple of times so it's in there tight. And then it just kind of push the little end tail down so it goes to the back side, like so. And then I'm going to measure out 10, so got to get the mat in the right position. And then I measure from the number 1 to the 10, so that would be 9 inches. So pink is my favorite color, so that's why we have a lot of pink going on, and I'm making this for my craft room door. I wanted to personalize it a little bit, and I just love how this one turned out. Anyways, I measured my 9 inches, scrunch it up, and then I'm going to the inner rings to add the pipe cleaner and attach it. And then I'll measure out another 9 inches and then go back out to the outer pipe cleaner. I hope that makes sense. You can kind of see what I'm doing. So it's going to alternate all the way around by the outer to the inner to the outer to the inner, all the way around. And then when you get all the way around, you kind of pull your deco mesh down, and then you do the same thing with the pipe cleaners that's left over from the inner to the outer to the inner to the outer. And it turns out really pretty. I really like how it turned out. So learned something new, tried it, and it worked out. Love it. So here I'm just adding some more pipe cleaners. I was just getting started to show you how it's going to look, and also to give myself an idea if I wanted to continue this method or not, if I was just going to do it the regular way when I do the poof method. But I kind of like this, so that's how we're going to do it. So there we go. And it will continue all the way around. I'm not going to show you that, but I'm just going to show you a little bit here just as a reference if you wanted to remake it. Yep, go it all the way around. So that's what it looks like. And then I'll keep measuring out 9 inches from 1 to 10. And then I'll add it. So here we are on the outer pipe cleaner. Now we go to the next inner. And it's not the one on the inside right underneath. You kind of go over. So here you don't go to the one that's straight on top. You go over to the next one on the outer, like so. And then you continue to do that. So 9 inches. Go to the inner pipe cleaner. And it's not the one that's right underneath. It's the one next over. And then, yeah, I'm going to speed up a little bit. I kind of get it now how we need to do it. And then when we get to the beginning, then we'll do it the opposite way. Not going the other way, but pulling the deco mesh down to um, the pipe cleaner that's right underneath, and then we'll crisscross around. See, I'm trying to figure out like, okay, which way do I need to do this? But once I get the hang of it, it goes pretty smooth. It's my first time trying this, so we're learning together. And here I'm just kind of fluffing them out, just making sure that it gives enough coverage. And it does. So I don't think I got my deco mesh all the way down to a nice tight twist with the pipe cleaner. So I'm kind of fixing that right here. Want to make sure it's not coming undone. And then we do the same thing. Measuring out 9 inches from 1 to 10. And then you just twist it in there with the pipe cleaner. And here we are in the inner pipe cleaner. So now we'll measure out 9 and go to the next outer pipe cleaner. I'm trying to find it. It's the only one on the outer that doesn't have any poof in there yet. And then we'll speed it up. Yeah, trying to keep track of where all my empty pipe cleaners are. And you can kind of see here, up here closer to the edge, the crisscrossing. Once I'm done going all the way around, we'll start fluffing it all out. And then I'll do the same thing. Once I get to the end, we're going to cut it. And then I'm trying to think, do I cut first or do I? No, I attached it first and then I cut. And then I kind of push the bottom down. And now I'm just pulling all my pipe cleaners up because it'll be easier to fluff out my little poofs. And then we'll go to the next step after that. But it's already starting to look good. Just wait till you see the end result. It is gorgeous. I love it. So there, and then we'll fluff them out. Just easier to do with the pipe cleaners up. Just make sure you fluff them out all the way. Gives good coverage that way, and it makes it more fluffy. So I don't think I'm gonna make you watch the whole thing, but just kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing and how it kind of fills it out. That's kind of what it looks like. It doesn't look like a whole lot right now, but just wait. We're gonna work on that. This is just the base part. And then I'm gonna work on my ribbon, and I'm gonna cut them at 10 inches. And I got this dark pink, kind of sheer, And I also got a green one this year and a pink and white stripe that's a little bit on the sheer side. And then I got this dotted one right here, which is a little bit on the thicker side. I wanted to add some dimension, some texture, and some color in there. So the dark pink would always go on the bottom, but then the other three, I'm going to kind of switch them up in the order that I do them, just because the base part is pink, so I want to keep the dark pink at the bottom, but then add some of the different patterns and colors towards the top. I kind of like how that turned out. And here I'm just cutting a bunch of each color. I'm just kind of playing around. I wasn't sure if I was going to add a bundle to each pipe cleaner or just do some, or if it's just going to be the outer, the inner. I hadn't really planned all that out quite yet. So I'm just cutting a bunch and then kind of work with it from there and decide what I want to do. So sometimes you can kind of have an idea, but you don't quite have the whole results in your head, but you figure it out as you go along. And here for each ribbon that I cut out, I'm going to ducktail them at each end. And then once I've done, I'm putting them back on my mat when I measure out to 10 inches. And then at the 5 inches, I'm kind of scrunching them in the middle. And then I'm just using my easy bow maker to hold it in place for me. So here I have the dark pink at the bottom, and that will always be at the bottom. And then the other three will kind of alternate how they go in what order. There's really no order, it's just randomly being put in there. Here I was contemplating, do I leave it at just 3 colors or do I add all 4? But because there were so many of the thin sheer ones, I decided just to use all 4. And it turned out really, really beautiful. So I'm glad I did that. And then I'll just take them up here in the middle and then I'll add it. I start on the outside and just a random pipe cleaner, and then I'm adding it in there. And then I'll just twist my pipe cleaner around. And what I don't do here, but I end up going back, is I twist it around and then I'll cut the pipe cleaners and just kind of push the leftover down towards the bottom so you can't see it. Here I'm just kind of fluffing out my little ribbons. I'm sorry it's a little bit out of the view area here, but you can kind of see a little bit. Just fluffing them out and spreading them out, kind of looking at it how I like it. And the good thing is that most of these have um, a wired edge to it, so they're a little bit easier to maneuver around and kind of bend in the direction that you want it. So here we go again with the dark pink first. And then we'll take a random piece. We did the stripe one. Just scrunch it up in the middle. Add it to the easy bow maker. And then we'll go to the next ribbon piece. And then the last one. And then I start with the outer rings. So I'll add that to the next outer pipe cleaner and add that in there. And then twist it around with my pipe cleaner. And here I've done all the way around. And that's what it looks like. Doesn't it look pretty with all those colors and patterns? I love it. But as you can see, it definitely needs something in the middle too. So I was contemplating putting in a sign there to cover it up, but I really like the colors of how it went on the outside that I wanted to do it on the inside as well and not put a sign in there. So now I'm just making my bundles to order here and then adding them on the inside because that was kind of like a last minute kind of decision. I wanted to add some more. And it's just the same process as when we did the outside part of the wreath. Just fluffing them out, of course. And then we'll go all the way around and do the same thing. And here I'm just cutting them as I go along and ducktailing them and scrunching them up. Put them on an easy bow maker. Same thing for the others. And then we'll just start filling up the whole inside of the wreath, getting all the pipe cleaners done. we go. Fluffing them out, and then I'll cut um, the excess pipe cleaners off, and that's what it looks like. Isn't that so pretty? I'm so in love with this wreath. Love it. And then I'm just taking a regular white pipe cleaner and I'm folding it in half. And then I'm going to attach it to the back. We're going to use that as the hanger. And I'm going in between two of the section that goes across in the middle there so it doesn't kind of fluff around. And then I'm just twisting it real good. And then I'm cutting the excess off. And then I'm kind of bending it around so it doesn't scratch up anything. And that's my little hanger. Let me know what you think about this one. I love it. And let's take a look at it on my door to my craft room. I love all the colors, the patterns. So pretty. Don't forget to check out the playlist when you're done with this video. You'll watch a bunch of other crafters making wreaths of wood rounds and get a ton of inspiration. You won't regret it. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate all of you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.